It's me, Rachel, and
Kirk.
Okay, so we are here today. We made it to Bloomingdale, and this is the second place that I stayed. The church that was across the street, they kind of hung up on us, and there were some other people who, were not very kind to us, but were churches, and we were just really looking for a place to park the wagon. But finally, the pastor here showed up in a classic car that was like hot to death. It was amazing. This is their church, by the way. See their church? Yes, it was. This pastor showed up, and he said, "You know what? Yeah, you can stay here." And I was gonna pitch my tent right where that white car is. They actually had a church van, which is now parked underneath of their awning. But the church van was there, and I was just gonna pitch a tent right next to the wagon, right on the asphalt there. And the pastor was like, no. We have a youth house right next door. Just stay there. So he let me in, and that's the youth house right there. I hope you got to see it. That's the youth house, and I spent the night there. And then the next day, I had parked the wagon there. Oh my God, the mosquitoes were so bad. That's what I remember that. The mosquitoes were so bad. And it was actually the 17th of April. Today is not the same experience, but that day, the mosquitoes were really bad. So I was really, really blessed. And today, their message on their billboard for this Sunday, I believe, or maybe it was this past Sunday, is Bold Faith. And that just reminds me of, because we're here to Vigil for the survivors, so this is our Bloomingdale stop. And so I just want to say how hard it is for survivors to have faith. How hard it is for us when we have lost trust, especially if we've been repeatedly traumatized, repeatedly violated, and we've trusted and then lost trust and trusted and had that violated and broken so many times. It's so difficult to have faith. I often call the nightclub Payne's Church because it's where we kind of drown our sorrows. And when I say we, I've been there, so I've done that. And it's not the only place, but it's one of those places. When you are short on faith, and you are short on the ability to trust people, and to even trust yourself in trusting people, because it's like a bank. You are an internal bank, and people are withdrawing from your well of trust. And sometimes you get to a place where it's been taken advantage of so often that your well of trust is overdrawn, and you feel delinquent. And oftentimes, faith is one of those things that people will say, "Oh, just have faith." It's so easy for someone who has not been through traumatic violation to say to someone who has been through traumatic violation to have faith. But to be in those shoes and realize that it's so difficult to have faith. It's so difficult to trust people and to trust anyone in life and to believe in your own feelings. But trust and faith are paramount to the success in restoration. They just are. Without that, without building up your well and your resource of love for yourself, of trust for yourself, in yourself and others, and rediscovering how to rebuild. It's almost like rebuilding your credit, right? But this is trustworthiness for yourself and for others, and rebuilding your supply and your resource so that you have something to start with. Listen, suicide happens when there's not one drop left of hope, faith, and love. That's when suicide happens. Even in the natural environment, in the natural animal environment, when someone doesn't have, or let me rephrase that, when a bee, for example, or some other animal, but it's very common amongst the bees because they're part of a colony, or ants because they're part of a colony. But bees that are stinging and have stingers, it's very common that when they no longer, maybe they're injured, their wings broken or something, they no longer have a contribution, a positive contribution to make to society, they get to a place where they commit suicide. They will just literally lie on their back and sting themselves to death. And that process is them feeling no longer viable in the community, no longer viable to life. And it's similar for us who have gone through deep, dark depression. And in that darkness, you don't know if the light is ever coming back. A lot of times, that's where hope and despair are at its greatest odds. And so I encourage, especially here now that we're in Bloomingdale, I encourage all of those in Bloomingdale who are enduring traumatic violations like domestic violence, sexual assault, traumatic childhood maltreatment and neglect, elder abuse, verbal abuse, physical abuse, mental abuse, who are recovering from attempted murder during a traumatic violation. Forgive me if I've missed anybody. Did I miss anybody? I encourage you to rebuild your faith. According to whatever denomination or belief set that you may be coming from, or maybe grew up in, so long as it is not harmful to you or to others, try to reconnect with community. Try to find your value and your worth in what you contribute and what you permit others to withdraw from you, and let that withdrawal be for the good of them and to help rebuild yourself. If it's not mutual, unplug. Disengage. It's not for everybody. You are not for everybody. I'm not for everybody. He's not, but we are for each other, right?
That's right.
So, that's what I encourage you here today in Bloomingdale. That's my Vigil message for Bloomingdale, and may all of those who are struggling in their survival find a way to the surface and to resurface the truth, the truest version, the best and most empowering version of themselves. And for those who are violating and who are offending or who are prowling or being predatory, you know what? I bless you with the ability. I bless you with the ability and the strength to walk away from destruction and damaging and harmful behaviors. Otherwise, your value and your worth are diminishing every day, and you're pulling valuable, worthy, life-filled people down with you. The long-term ramifications of your behavior, you can do something about that right now. So that is the Vigil message for Bloomingdale. And I want to thank again the church here for allowing us and me to stay here that night and us to continue our campaign. We continue the movement to push for greater awareness and to move from awareness into cause consciousness, where we are responsible for our responses and enabling solutions. Love and life, dream well. We are on to, where are we on to next? What was after Bloomingdale? We left Goldie over there. Let's go see. Oh wait, we have it. Hold on.
After Bloomingdale.
After Bloomingdale. Falkville. So we are headed to Falkville. Falkville, and then after Falkville,
there is Blichtston County.
Oh, Blichtston County. I have great memories there.
Blichtston Community.
Yes, Blichtston Community, but I have great memories there. I've got something to share some with you. So, blessings. We will be in touch again. Lord willing, the live feed thing continues to work for us. Take care, Janine. I'll be seeing you, girl. I'll be seeing you.